I have a quick question.
Sure.
In the live Dogma debate afterwards, one of the first things that was said was that Eric Hovind and Sye Ten, they thought that after Sye's first, let's be honest, minute of his argument, they thought that he won hands down. Like that's why there was nothing left after. I mean, what do you think about that?
So I left and I didn't actually listen to that, but it doesn't surprise me. And there were a number of people. There are going to be people in every debate who leave thinking that their side won, irrespective of what happened. And I don't even know how you calculate a win. I do know, though, that Sye's opening argument, the only actual argument that he presented, where premise one is it's reasonable to believe that which is true, premise true, it's true that God exists, conclusion, therefore it's reasonable to believe that God exists. And he expected me to object to the second premise, and I did. But the first premise is false. The first premise, it is reasonable to believe that which is true, is false. Reasonableness determines how we go about believing something or accepting something. It could be true that there is a planet, in another galaxy that has a small pool of exactly 3 cubic liters of water. That could be true, and you could believe it, but that doesn't mean that your belief is reasonable. So his first premise, it is reasonable to believe that which is true, is actually false. And as Ozzy pointed out, it would get him laughed out of any kind of logic or philosophy 101 thing. If he wanted to correct it, he could say it is reasonable to believe that which you know to be true, or that you can justify as true. But so, yeah, the first premise was false. The second one was just an assertion, one that he couldn't demonstrate. And so the whole argument fell apart from there. What I walked away with thinking was not so much a win or lose, because, of course, there were mistakes made and everything else, but it seemed obvious to me that he just was forever trying to avoid demonstrating the things that he still hasn't demonstrated. Your worldview can't account for the logical absolutes. Well, neither can yours, so far as we can tell. You just keep claiming that it does, and that gets us nowhere. It doesn't surprise me. Well, first of all, and I'll say this, and it's probably rude, and I don't care. Of the two of them, Eric Hovind is the bigger idiot, and that Eric would leave the debate thinking that Sye won in 2 minutes almost argument enough that Sye completely lost, because Eric is kind of meandering. He's lost his dad's evidential status and kind of glommed onto Sye's stuff, and as far as I can tell, couldn't argue his way out of a wet paper bag. But it doesn't surprise me that people would think that somebody won. There were people who thought that I won in the first minute of Sye's opening too, since I speak in so many clips.